welcome everybody. Tuesday evening here in the UK. Well, everyone's just clocking off from work, probably over in the States. Ballers in the house. Divisional round. Well, the most ridiculous divisional round known to man. Breaking news in the NFL that has broken over the last couple of hours as well. We will break it all down. Will, Peter, how are we doing? Because there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, man. I honestly think the games we saw this week have ushered in like a new era in the league. It's just insane to see. There's a lot to talk about, on and off the field as well. So yeah, I can't wait to get into it. So yeah, let's get it going.
Another exciting week. Great round of games.
He's like the Jimmy Carr. You go.
Hello.
Listen, I can't look. I've been in mornings, so I can't. I like what's happening in the league, but I can't share the excitement that you two have because until
you know, like what's it? You know, like you've gone from the angry from Inside Out.
Yeah, I'm not in a depressed state.
No, you've now gone to the sad character who's like, you're like, oh no.
Acceptance next week.
So you can be joy. You can be joy soon. You can be joy very soon. We've experienced
what
that
news
joy
I'm
last
waiting
weekend.
for. Once that news gets confirmed, I don't know when they're gonna confirm it. If they confirm before Thursday, I'll be in a great mood on Thursday.
Yeah, just wait till you just put a different DC that you hate, and then you'll be losing your mind even more. So we can't wait for that reaction here on Ballers Across the Pond. But
it doesn't matter.
Now, okay, first of all, Sean Payton is stepping away from the New Orleans Saints, rumored to be retiring. He's not going anywhere else.
He will retire.
He's burnt out.
With regards of how long, we'll have to wait and see. Basically, I think I already posted this in the chat.
Well, you think he's doing a Brett Favre retirement 1 year and he'll come back in again?
I think it's going to be like a Bruce Arians sort of thing.
He's doing a Bruce Arians, basically.
Yeah, exactly. What he saw, obviously, Bruce Arians saw what he had in, who was it, Rosen, and he was like, nah.
No, he wasn't even there for the Rosen debacle.
He saw Rosen was like,
he was before that.
It was even before that. What happened was he looked at the roster. We went to the NFC Championship game, came back, had that 2016 season wasn't good, and then the 2017 season wasn't good enough. So he decided to retire because he wasn't going to go through a rebuild.
I think what Sean's going to do is, after what he saw this weekend, the type of play he saw, he realized like the gate, the doorway, the staircase to there, they're far away from that. And he's in the business of trying to win championships. So I think within his own interest, he was like, this isn't really going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to dip out, not in a bad way. He doesn't owe New Orleans anything. Like, he's given that city hope, healing and championships. So I think he's going to dip out.
Yeah, why did they have to get that championship? Honestly, whoever turned out those lights, come on.
It wasn't.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Championships wins a win.
You know exactly why it was against my team that they won that.
Like the Ravens Super Bowl.
No, but they flipped the switch on like Manning. Like they turned out his lights as well. So because he stopped playing well after that in that second half. But that's bygone history. That's bygone history. But what does this mean for the Saints? Because have you looked at their salary cap problem?
Well, okay, so the Saints are going for a hard reset right now. I think that's the best course of action. Like and if I'm the Saints,
how hard a reset can they go with? Because I'll explain. 71.5 million over the cap.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You'll be forced to release some players. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. They have the greatest cap wizard known to in the league. I don't care what anybody
Mhm.
does. Mickey Loomis is the greatest cap wizard the NFL has ever seen. Last year, they
Mhm.
were almost, was it 50 or 70? It was around the same ballpark that they were over the cap. But Mickey Loomis somehow did his
Yeah,
magic.
but
They
I
got
think
under the cap.
eventually at some point, it'll catch up to you. Even though the cap is going up next year,
But
you can't
I
escape it
think,
eventually.
yeah, but that 74 million is still is included in the new cap. But what I'm saying is that Mickey Loomis can do some magic. But definitely the Saints are gonna be it's almost like they're gonna be in a seller's market this off
Yeah.
season
Right.
because
Okay.
whichever
So
coach
all right.
comes in,
So who can they sell?
who can they
Well, if you
sell?
haven't got a
Okay,
QB,
I mean when you look at it,
if you
yeah,
haven't
go
got
ahead,
a
Vo.
QB in place, wide receivers got to go. No
Right.
point.
Okay. Do you know what the cap hit for Michael Thomas is?
What's the cap hit?
Pre June 1st. Right. Pre June 1st, $22.7 million
Post June first.
for dead cap. Post 8.9.
So who
40
does it
more.
for post June first? Because most teams will
Yep.
outright take him after June 1st because I don't want to eat that
Yep.
cap. But also they could also strike a deal with a team whereby they could give a higher draft pick for the team
hmm
eating that
So
cap.
you
So
see that Michael Thomas could go.
I think he will go.
Yep.
I don't think, because if you haven't got anyone that can get him the ball, it's just there's no point.
Do
There's
you,
literally
do,
no
you- do
Michael
you
point
Thomas is
think
gonna
there,
go.
and he's
do you think Cam
and he
Jordan
is
could go?
serviceable.
Cam Jordan, he's the same for life, so he might do some restructuring stuff. I can see them trading Ryan Ramczyk, who's one of the best right tackles in the league, and he just got given a massive extension
They're
last
not
year.
trading him because the cap hit after June 1st is 26 million.
What's before?
No. 37 million. He's not going. He's not going anywhere. It's too expensive.
All right. The thing is that they're gonna have to trade some of their high salary earners, some of their to trim the cap down. So anybody who's cap
do you know what
hit,
do you know what Marshall Lattimore's is?
what's Marshall Lattimore's?
His dead cap, if he were to be traded pre June 1st, would be 40 million.
So that's why I told you, Mickey Loomis
Dead
did
cap.
all of this to solve them, to save them, and they just they
He's
can't.
pushed it. They can't. Like I said, it comes up. It will come back to bite you eventually at some point.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that they're gonna trade some pieces because right now they don't have the quarterback. Whichever head coach comes in, you're coming into a team that the roster, apart from a quarterback, they quite frankly have like
The way
a
I
good
see
roster.
this, is Teron Armstead.
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent.
They can't sign him.
They can't sign him. That's 13 million they save because they'd already put that in. Because at the moment he was listed as 13 million against the cap on Spot Rack. You look at others, it's difficult to see who will stay and who they will trade away.
But they're gonna do some trades. They're gonna get rid of some pieces. And to me, with the Saints, you go for the hard reset. You know, I mean, a good candidate they can get, provided they don't fire him after the first year, which I think he'll get a chance. Hire David Kaliman. I feel that man was hard done by.
Do you
with
think
Sean
somebody
Payton
like
going?
was it Bradley Roby? Because that's 10 million they can save straight away. Well, yeah, 10 million they can save
That's
straight
true.
away.
They'll find a way to get under the cap. But what I'm saying in terms of head coaching, why don't they bring in someone like David Cully, the ones that the Texans fired, which was undeserved because they actually did a good job with the Texans.
Yeah.
Bring him in. I mean, another candidate they could go after is Jim Caldwell, but I don't want them to because he's the OC for Vance Joseph. So I don't want anybody to type him as a head coach right now. Just let him go with Vance Joseph.
So the interesting thing is that 71 million, that doesn't include any of their rookies that they're going to have to sign.
They'll find a way. They'll find a way.
It's gonna be
Make
it's gonna
Lewis
be
find a
really
way.
interesting. It's gonna
But
be really
also,
really. It'll
I
be
think they
very
could
interesting to see how they
also,
manage to do this degree poker. But yeah, Peter.
but also they could promote from within. You know that DC that's been giving Tom Brady fits the last 2 seasons.
Hmm.
Dennis Allen.
Yeah,
They could promote him to head coach because Sean's gone. So you've got a person in house. He's prime for a head
knows the
coaching
culture.
opportunity.
Yeah,
Exactly. So let him rebuild the team and see where you guys get to.
you might as well actually. That's not a half bad shout because I think
So
it's not an attractive job necessarily. Where do you think if Sean Payton does come back, what teams do you see embracing him as a head coach?
He's going to the Cardinals.
you want
Dallas?
everyone to go to the Cardinals. It's Dallas. Everyone says it's Dallas, and the reason
No,
why he's got a
but
very
here's the
good
thing
relation,
though.
and I'll
Hold
explain why.
on.
Can I finish, please?
Okay, go ahead.
So he has a very very good relationship with Jerry,
That's a lie.
and well, that's what all of the talk out
Well,
of
he
the
was
sports
former
world
Dallas
is.
staff, wasn't he? So
Yeah, all of the talk out, and they said if he's going to sack Mike McCarthy, it is only for one man,
Okay,
and
so
it's for
that's
Sean
what all
Payton.
the pundits and people say, but they're missing one crucial element. Sean Payton was the face of the Saints, correct?
Correct.
yeah,
He rubber stamped the whole organization. He ran it.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one
Wi-
thing Jerry Jones
that Jerry
loves
Jones
being?
doesn't let. Yeah, he likes to be the face
fair
of the
enough.
franchise. So
Yeah,
that's a
Exactly. So the thing is, Sean Payton can take that job, but Sean Payton needs to realize that whatever success you have, Jerry Jones is not gonna let you have the
take
credit. He's gonna
all of the
want to
credit.
be front and center. He wants to be know
Hmm.
that it's my doing. I'm the reason that we won. I'm the reason we won the Super Bowls. You know, that is the one fatal flaw. I love Jerry Jones as an owner. He pays his players. He does
He
what needs to be
cares.
done. He cares.
He,
He
he
does
cares about. No,
everything.
he actually cares about his players, which
No, no,
is
he
a
does.
rarity
I'm not
amongst
complaining.
NFL
He
owners.
cares. You know, if you're one of Jerry's guys who make sure you're paid, he cares for you. If you have issues off the field, he'll find lawyers for you. He'll do everything to help to make sure you're straight. But the only thing is, the one thing that's the fatal flaw of Jerry Jones is the ego thing, which is I want to have the credit. I want people to know that yes, you're the head coach, but it's me that you're
Hmm.
winning. It's not because of you, it's because of Jerry. And I think that could potentially be a problem. Another team that he might go is Chicago, because I
yeah.
think he played there and he kind of has an affinity for the Bears franchise. So that's another team that's Bears watching. But I mean, the thing is, the situation is the Bears are gonna look for a head coach this season, so the Bears might be a long shot, but the Cowboys
Cycle
certainly is.
wise,
Yeah,
it's
the Cowboys
they'll.
certainly is a good
Mhm.
destination. I mean, if they don't if Mike McCarthy messes up again in 2022, it's a perfect time for Sean Payton to come back in. But I'm not. I'm the one thing that I'm a bit wary about is. mm,
Do you think he could actually be done though,
No, no, no.
Sean Payton?
I don't
I
think
don't
he's
think. I
done
think
because
How old is
he
he
had a
now?
press conference just now, and he said that he's gonna coach again, but he doesn't know when. He just wants to take some time out,
yeah.
Oh right.
but he
I
does
think it's
plan on
more of a
coaching again.
He's
situation
what?
and fit.
He's only 58 years old, so it's not exactly old in
Yeah,
the
I think for
coaching
him it's more of a
circumstance.
situation and the right fit. If that comes
Hmm.
up, he's just gonna pull the trigger. There needs to be an established quarterback there, maybe some pieces in place. Then I think he'll consider that team, whichever team it's gonna be.
It's
So
it's definitely all
that's
changed
gonna be
over in
interesting.
on the Saints, so it's going to be really, really, really interesting to see
But the thing is,
how it
okay,
pans out for them.
so last thing is that if if the type of quarterback is important, will it take the Dallas job? I mean, Dak is
Although,
good, but he's not exactly
yeah,
elite.
Neither was Breeze
true.
before he.
No, Brees had
Uh,
elite talent though. In San Diego, he had elite talent.
Yeah, yeah, he
Trust
was
me.
good, but Dak's good too, man. He just needs the
the
No,
right.
one
but
thing.
Brees in San Diego is better than Dak though.
Okay, okay. Does that quash all Russ to New Orleans rumors now?
Not necessarily. I mean, It does, but I'm
But
like,
they can't really afford him either, can they?
No.
oh, because of the cap. But I mean, Russ might go New York though. But then I don't think the new GM will want Russ.
That's gonna be really, really interesting. There's a lot of moving pieces with regards to potential moving pieces for top level quarterbacks in the league, um, top level players in general, because just how teams are, we'll talk about the games in a minute or so, but you need one of these top guys to even have a chance.
Yeah, but in the case of San Francisco, no.
True,
That's
that is
harsh.
also true. Um, I think we'll now get to talk about one of those other pieces. Actually, two of them. So obviously discussions about Rodgers and Brady potentially whether either of them will potentially retire. Brady has made it seem more like the way he's talking in the press that potentially he could be retiring. He might from a on the field point of view, he's not playing. His playing level has not diminished. Correct, Peter?
Nope.
No. Well.
No. From
Well.
like it's not diminished from previous last year, was it?
All
Correct.
prejudices aside, Pete, like the
All
truth
prejudice
is, he's
aside.
had an amazing season. If someone was to tell me this is an old guy, he's washed,
No.
tail end,
Don't even take away that age, right? Take away his age,
take away
right?
the age.
You look at the stats that he's had this season. Okay, some of it has been stat padded, but he
Well,
has had.
massively stop padded though.
He
I knew he
had,
was going to say that.
but he has had an objectively good season for an
Very
NFL
good season.
quarterback. Yes
He's
or
had a
Very
no?
good
good
season.
stat pattern. He had a good stat pattern season.
Stop
He's had a very good
asterisking
season.
everything. He's had a very good season. Okay. So if there is a wonder, one of those criteria for NFL quarterbacks that they have is can they still do it at the highest level?
Yep, I think he can.
Well, he can,
He is
but I mean,
right. So no. So then
There's no but.
that wonder that's not there. It's all the other external factors, whether they will have an impact on whether he wants to continue. Like Aaron Rodgers said today on the Pat McAfee show, is are you going to commit yourself to another year of the grind? Not the grind of the off season, but the grind of in the season of that grind, because that has an impact on, especially now. Now we can talk about his age. He's 44 years old. He has kids of a certain age.
I actually think it's the opposite of that. I honestly think what players don't want to necessarily have to go through is that training camp, that mini camp. That's what they don't like, which is why we see a lot of vets, especially later on in the year. Sorry,
Just
later
they
on in their
skip it.
career, they almost get like an alibi from the owner. Like if they're like a Ring of Honor player, an all-time great, all pro,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been in the league 10, 11 years, they're usually like, you know what, just show up like halfway through training camp, because they know that's what they don't want to have to go through. If it's just the games, if Brady could just show up and go into a game, he'd love to, but that's not his MO. Like he's in
He
love
has
with
to
the
live and
process.
breathe it. He has to. Yeah, that's
He
the
likes
thing.
yeah,
preparation, and that takes up a lot
because
of time and effort. So I think for
because
Brady, it's more about, is he willing to do all of that? Because the Sundays, 100%. I was watching a podcast. Ryan Clark said, "You have to pay me to go to practice, not for my games. I'll play that for free." And I think for a lot of the guys in the league, the games that playing in a match, that's what they enjoy. It's all the monotony of training, eating right, doing all the right things, the media, training camp. Like you're locked away from the outside world. You've got like a small little town for like 3 months, 2 months on end, and then you go straight into this season. You're not spending time with your family because you have to get road games, tour days, midweek games. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's burning him out, and I think that's what he's thinking about ultimately. Another thing I'm going to add is with Brady, it's championship or bust. So he doesn't want to compete and just say, oh, well, we didn't make the playoffs, I'll try again next year. He's only going to come back if he thinks there's a viable point. And if you look at that roster in Tampa Bay right now, it's almost set to be dismantled. You can't keep everyone. And those pieces were there. You know what I mean? And Bruce Arians, like, let's be honest, before Brady arrived, that team just wasn't getting it done. They were competitive. They could score well. They could score high, but they weren't winning the tight games that they needed to win.
Yeah, also Jameis did happen to give a lot of the
because
games
Jameis
away.
was
But
Exactly. So it's like, do you have the right coach necessarily? I mean, I'm not saying Bruce Arians is a bad coach, but all I'm saying is,
well, they won one. They've got one ring. You do everything to get one ring.
Thanks to TB12. That roster was the same team. It was the same team. Brady brought Gronk and AB, and as soon as that happened, what happens? Takes him to the promised land. That was the same roster.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like, okay, hold on a second. You're making it sound like,
but you put Andrew Luck in that team, you're gonna get to the promised land.
Like here's what I disagree with Sally on your last point here, and some of your points here. My thing is this: swap Tom Brady with Russell Wilson, with even Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
And the Bucks win that division, and they have a shot at going to the Super Bowl, because during last season, the defense got hot. The Bucks defense were all healthy. They were the best defense. They were like the number one defense going into the playoffs, and the defense was hot. So and Brady's never won a Super Bowl without a top 5, top 10 scoring defense. We're not just talking top 10 overall. When it's a scoring defense, the defense that actually takes the ball away and contributes to the offense scoring points. So they had a top 10 scoring defense. So that contributed to them winning that Super Bowl. So see, here's why I differ, because a lot of people make it sound like it's all Brady. It's not all Brady, because Stafford could have done the same thing. The only difference the Bucks had is that they had Jameis, who threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Name me a quarterback in NFL history.
He had his own very 30 for 30. So
like if you give me 30 touchdowns here, you just give me 18 interceptions. I don't expect to give you 30, just 18 or something.
Nuts though. Can't take that away.
I'm saying it will be fine. Another thing about Brady is that Brady enjoys the grind and stuff, and all the grind and stuff is what he enjoys. But I think he's on the Bucks, like, he's at a point in his career that he knows, I can't elevate rosters anymore. In New England, he had a top defense and was able to elevate the offense. He's looking at the Bucks defense right now, and he knows next year they're not going to have a top 10 scoring defense. They have a lot of key free agents on defense that they're going to lose. So that means the defense is not going to be as strong as it used to be. And he knows that. So that's why he's not committed to coming back to play the season. Another thing I would say to what he says that he grinds and he does all of that stuff, but that's because Brady can't do what Brett Favre used to do, because Brady ain't got the arm that Brett Favre had. Brett Favre could roll up, I think with the Vikings, I think in 2009, when he went to the NFC Championship game. He didn't come to training camp. He didn't do anything. He just showed up week 1, and the Vikings had an outstanding season. Brady that can't do that. Brady needs preseason. He needs all of that because he's not naturally talented like the other guys. He's just not.
And there we have the shade, as always, from Peter. Now, we must get on to it. These 4 beautiful games. And we have to start with the AFC showdown between the Chiefs and the Bills.
Oh, boy.
It was the most ridiculous game I have ever seen live.
Yep.
Full stop. There are so many things to break down. First of all, Mahomes and Allen. These two, they both played incredibly well. What does this mean for the rest of the AFC? When you consider that there are people like, so we're going to talk about Burrow a little bit later on with regards to that matchup, but the teams that aren't in the playoffs, what does having these two guys at the top end mean for the rest of the AFC?
Yeah, at the top end, it's the most in his hospitable conference. If you're looking to get a job, if you're looking to stay as a head coach, because the competition is so fierce, so fierce. Like you have to bring your A game. And if you don't have a QB in that conference, don't even bother. Don't even bother. If you're part of any of those fan bases and you haven't got the team in place, it's just going to be an uphill struggle. The game that just came by, I have never, like, in my opinion, if you want to get anyone into the league or you want to get people watching NFL football, that was the game to watch. I honestly did not expect to see a performance like that. It's an all-time great performance. But that division, man, it is just nasty. Like I don't want any part of that.
I mean,
if you're a head coach, you're basically just like, damn.
I mean,
like, it's insane.
Josh and Patrick Mahomes are now like the clear top two quarterbacks. I mean, I saw something earlier this week that this is kind of brewing into like the new
Brady Manning.
Brady Manning. But I
It's the
think
new era.
This is
no, but their style of Brady Manning.
Yeah, this is more Mahomes. It's similar to that, but I mean, I kind of feel like sometimes we just got to give a new era what it is. This is Mahomes Allen era, and they're the two top dogs right now. But the funny thing is that in the AFC, I don't subscribe to them being the two top actually because Herbert and Burrow are nipping at their heels, and those two guys will have.
And they're not really like that far at their heels. They're kind of like almost on them as well. Yeah. It's more of just like in terms of
you've got these. So to me, you've got these four young, talented quarterbacks that are going to be a problem for a long time. I think Mahomes now knows that he has Allen and Burrow to contend in the conference, and even in his own division, there's Herbert that is also very talented, and they're going to be battling. So Mahomes will I think going forward, Mahomes will have potentially almost 10 plus games a season that's going to be prime time because he's facing Herbert. You have to be playing Allen at some point in the schedule and Burrow. And you know how the NFL does these things. They'll find a way to make Mahomes play the other three almost year in, year out. Because
so Mahomes is definitely playing against Allen next year. Because
he always going to play Herbert twice a year.
He always plays Herbert twice a year. He's playing Allen, and he will be playing Burrow.
So he's playing all three of them next year. So which is going to be? I bet you all those games are going to be in prime time. It's going to be must-see TV. It's going to be one of those teams, and I think it's a testament to both young quarterbacks, talented, working at their game and representing their teams. Now, when I look at the divisions, Allen is set to dominate the AFC East now because I don't see any.
Like if we look at the actual play within like the quarterback play, so that 17 play drive that Allen did, where he converted on fourth down twice. That scramble, to the right to convert on fourth was insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 2-point conversion was mental. It was off the charts.
It was
because he rolled out and he still managed to find the room, and then he managed to find Diggs in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I think his ability as a passer has completely exceeded what everyone thought. The level that we thought he was at, like he's seeing the field now, and it's like he's not just going through his reads, but he's creating plays. He's throwing receivers open.
And did you see him lay down the boom as well?
Yeah, exactly. He's not afraid. I mean, he'll have to sort that out. But
he's not. No, but the thing is,
well, he's bigger than most linebackers. That's the thing.
Yeah, I was and I was thinking to myself, yo, Big Ben, watch carefully, because this is kind of like you if you look after your body right. This could have been you. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things. But Josh Allen right now, the way he was stiff arming that end, he was like, get off me, and then he throws the ball. I'm like, who does that to a defensive end?
Because he can do it.
He's just shaking that guy off his legs. Like, please just let me. I just want to
get off me.
Get off my leg. Thank you. Just throw it.
Listen,
Toying with these defensive ends, man. Like,
here's the thing though. Watching both of them play is something that I call the next evolution of quarterback play in the league. Both of them are proving that we can pass the ball from the pocket, but I think the keys to their success, and I think a lot of people don't realize, is that their mobility is what makes them so dangerous, is what buys them time in the pocket. Because
do you know what it, like, to add to that, right?
The minute Allen rips off a 10-yard, 20-yard run, defenses have to respect him. They don't blitz like they're gonna blitz normally, because you stand the risk of him taking off again and burning you. So that put them on their heels and have defenses reactionary rather than making Allen react to them. They react to Allen now because now he dictates the game.
But the difference between, I'll say, okay, I'm going to not just say AFC quarterbacks, young, mobile, top-level quarterbacks, correct? I'm going to use this in that. So Lamar and Kyler are probably the most mobile. But they're not as good in the passing game as those two.
I disagree on
consistency.
That. Maybe Lamar, but Kyler has
Lamar. No. I would say the way I would put it is Lamar, the lowest out of the four, in terms of like. Then it would be Kyler, and then it would be those two kind of level with each other.
Yeah, but the thing is, but here's the caveat I'll put Kyler in. Kyler has the talent. He just needs to put it together.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The consistency.
That's
what
Lamar, Lamar, we still don't know if he has the consistent throwing the ball talent. Because when you look at his mechanics and how he throws the football,
he just flips the wrist kind of thing, and it's
exactly there's something a little bit missing. But Kyler has shown that I could pass as well as these guys. But it's just what Kyler needs to realize is that to get to the Mahomes and Allen level, I have to use my legs. Because I know he came into this season thinking, I'm gonna prove that I can pass from the pocket. But I think what I hope he learns is that,
and then a lot of the defenders just started putting their arms up, and so many batted balls.
Exactly, but what he needs, but actually, I think Herbert had more batted balls than Kyler this season. Actually,
yeah,
it's actually a fact. But what I was saying is that what Kyler needs to realize is that your mobility, even Joe Burrow does it and Herbert does it to a degree, can be an asset. Don't be like, I just want to be a pocket passer. Don't do the RG3 thing. Just let your mobility work for you, because we're seeing that this new evolution of quarterbacks, like even Mahomes in the AFC Championship games, threw it off a couple of runs. He wasn't.
But did you see the run that he did on the weekend?
Couple.
Come on.
Exactly.
Did you see that gigantic
69? Like, he was their leading rusher.
But that's what I'm saying. If
Mahomes were the leading rushers for the teams.
Exactly. Like so both quarterbacks are showing that the fact that I'm mobile and I can run, I can move, it's an asset. It doesn't limit me. So other quarterbacks like Lamar and Kyler needs to realize what Lamar does is part of his game. I think Kyler needs to get back to that aspect of running to help your passing game, because we're not getting to a stage whereby it's not now. What I'm trying to say is that we're in the evolution of the quarterback play whereby passing from the pocket is now being married with mobility so beautifully these days. Before, it was like strictly just stay in the pocket, but now these two quarterbacks are showing I can be as effective from the pocket whilst being mobile. I can combine the two to be
they mesh this perfect game plan of having both of them, because if they need to stand there in the pocket or step up in the pocket, they're perfectly capable of doing that.
Yep.
And if they want to roll out, if they want to do a design quarterback run like Allen had in this game, they're perfectly capable of doing that as well. So now we talked about the quarterback play, let's talk about that last 2 minutes in that game. because
How many points?
26 points, I think.
20,
Was it 20
26,
something?
24?
26, yeah, 26
In 2
points.
minutes. I believe it.
So
Oh, by the way, I don't know this for a fact. Okay, let me research it. Carry on.
So yeah, no.
So Mahomes threw for 177 yards within the last 2 minutes.
That's crazy.
That is absolutely bonkers. Allen himself was it? I think it was before. Was it before that passing touchdown to Gabriel Davis? Well, all of his passing touchdowns went to Gabriel Davis.
Yeah.
But that long one earlier on in the fourth quarter,
Oh, beautiful.
like it was an absolute dart. Long. It was the longest touchdown of his entire career, air yards wise.
Yeah. That was right on the money. Although I kind of feel as though, because I was getting heated about this. I was like, the Kansas City secondary. I honestly don't know what they were doing on that play. Obviously he tripped, but I'm like, yeah, but there's a safety over the top that's guarding air, so he should have really shifted across and met that ball.
But when a guy trips and you have him in double coverage and you put it to single,
Yeah,
it's always going to have a problem.
yeah, there was a safety over the top, and I think Pete said if Tyrane was there, that wouldn't have happened, because Tyrane would have got to him the moment the ball hit his hands and would have broke it up, or at least smacked it away.
But he wasn't even close. He wasn't close to it.
It wasn't even close. He started to run.
Because he was
I think they just underestimated how far that Allen could throw that ball.
How far he could throw? Yeah,
true. He
true.
threw that like, come on, it was
over them hills.
70 yards in the air or something.
It was over them hills, so they were like, yeah, that's not going to
throw.
get anywhere.
But that safety, he ain't coming back to Kansas City anytime soon.
Well, no, they're rolling him out against Joe Burrow next week, so we're gonna see how that goes.
I watched that replay. Everyone north of the linebackers was standing there like cartoon wide legs with their hands on their helmets. Like, if you go and watch the replay, they were like, "No, what's going on?" So that was just insane to see.
Okay, so
I want to really talk about Tyreek Hill, because a lot of people have been saying Cheetah's been off this season. He
hasn't been off. He's just been doubled.
Yeah, no, he looked mesmerizing out there. I can't there's speed, there's track speed.
That touchdown pass when he put up the deuces.
Hey, to be honest, I kind of felt as though that he started to deuce a bit too early. I was like, this guy's still about
no.
yards ahead of you.
He had one hand, one arm on the ball.
No, but
it's like, no, you're not getting close. Bye bye.
Yeah, but the thing is, he started doing that. And
the reason why they didn't flag it,
I was like, this guy might catch you, man. Like, make sure.
No, but the reason why they didn't flag it, they said they didn't flag it because according to the rule book, he did it when he was behind the guy.
You're joking. Serious?
Yeah.
Well, the guy was behind him.
Oh,
no, when he was behind the guy when he put the deuces up. The guy that he went past was behind Tyreek.
So he's already running past. He hasn't run past him yet. So
no, and then he put a deuces up, saying that I'm gonna go past you right now.
I think the rule book scheme,
listen,
because he's technically not taunted, because he's not saying I'm in the end of la 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 la. No, he's bye bye, go, I'm gone.
That's a loophole, man.
Literally,
that's a loophole. I think the rule books are encouraging that behavior.
Listen, if I'm that DB, I'm retired this off season. Like, how you let a guy run from behind you and put deuces out?
No. But he is one of the fastest non-sprinters on the planet.
He gave me a head start, and he still went past me.
He gave a whole defense a head start.
But he runs 100 in what, 10-2?
I know, but the thing is, no. The beauty of that player is, I think finally the Chiefs have cracked it. I think right now. You know how if you play cover 2 shell, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've realized that why do we have to always try to pass the ball deep to Tyreek? Just give him a 10-15 yard pass. Yep, clear the path.
Yak.
and let
That's
him,
it. Yeah,
because
it's true.
they realize
And
like,
we
hey,
saw
this guy
those route
can
combinations
yak
throughout the
it.
game. Even Kelsey
Yeah.
on that last minute sprint, he came across the field and he realized if we get a few rub routes and just
Yep.
clear the path a little bit, get rid of the first two potential tacklers, that's
Well,
15, 30
he told
yards.
Tyreek exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did you see that? Like you saw the clip. So if anyone hasn't seen it, Patrick Mahomes put out the tweet, and it's the inside the NFL. You know, it's like the mic'd up footage, and Kelsey's basically orchestrated that drive. Those two plays, he's orchestrated that 13-second drive.
Yep.
It was Kelsey's doing. And after that first play, he basically said to Mahomes, "The way they're playing this, the seam is free."
Yep.
And it was as free as anything could be. It was so, and I like what they said. I think it was on Pat McAfee's show yesterday, and it was the kind of defense that they put up. It's as if they forgot they had 2 timeouts. Because that defense you don't play when they have timeouts. You still play the middle of the field because they can just easily call timeout.
Yeah. I mean, it's
They
a
were
learning process.
they were protecting the sideline.
Yeah.
Why? You've got
It's a
13
learning
seconds. It doesn't matter.
process.
You're going to use
I think-
you're going to use timeouts.
The teams that play
No.
Kansas City now are not going to make these same mistakes. So if anything, their road to that championship is a little bit harder now because they now know, we don't want to give him the ball. We're not going to let the middle of the field. We're not going to let Tyreek cross our face. I'd rather he go vertical and we make him beat the double coverage. If he crosses our face, it's just
It could be curtains.
it could be even worse.
No, but how you gonna stop him from crossing your face?
That's what I'm saying. Like you've
Because
got
if
inside
you bring your
shade.
DBs down and they can't jam him on at the line, this is
Yeah, because he's so
gone.
quick. He's so quick.
He's so
That's the
quick.
thing.
Yeah.
You can't press him. The thing is that, like, are your linebackers good enough to play zone and catch him in a zone?
Nope.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I just
Matt Milano's quick, but he's not that quick.
but he's not that quick. That's the thing. But here's the thing. The trivia is that I don't know what the research is on this, but I'll look at it. But was Mahomes' 13 seconds to tie the game the quickest comeback to tie a game to send it to OT in NFL history?
I have
He had
no
13
idea.
seconds. This is something I can say boldly in my chest that the phony GOAT has never done in his career. Mahomes did it with
Always comes
13
back to
seconds.
Brady.
13 seconds.
I'm just gonna ignore the Brady reference. We
I
talked
love
about
it.
him
I
enough
love it. I
today.
love it. I love it. No, but are you guys not amazed? Like 13 seconds. Like I literally, when it was 13 on the clock here, I said, I thought the Bills had won because
Well, okay. So
like,
the Bills made a number of errors. It wasn't just with their play call.
how you let a guy move? How did you let him kick a field goal in 13 seconds? Like
Before that,
damn.
the kickoff, you kick that in play.
Yep.
You don't.
That's true.
So Pat McAfee actually said, you don't squib it.
Nope.
You pooch kick it. So you get height on it.
Height. Yeah.
Yep.
So you get height on it, or you dribble it down. Like you
That way
really
waste
dribble
some
it down.
time.
You waste some time because they're fumbling around trying to get the ball off the floor.
Yep.
And then you waste 3 or 4 seconds. And then they only have 9 seconds. Other things that they could have done, obviously, with the play calling, that's a different thing. On that first play, you can play press and you can just hold them like hell. You can just bring them down to tackle them to the ground. Waste 2-3 seconds. The dark arts of the NFL. We all know who's capable. The Ravens have done it in the past. The Saints have done. The 49ers have done it in the past.
Bill Belichick will do that.
Bill Belichick would do that in a heartbeat.
He's the father. He's the architect of these kind of tactics. Like he does it like so regularly. It's unbelievable. Like he's so rigid.
But no, he does it. He does it more slyly. Not as overt as what the Ravens did to the Bengals a few years back, because that was a work of art.
Yeah.
You've seen the play, haven't you, Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they had the ball and it was a punt and they just held everyone. and then he just walked back, and Sam Cock just walked out
Yeah.
the back of the end zone for a safety.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there was a lot of things they could have done, but at the end of the day, the Bills have one of the top defenses in the league.
But at that point in the game, I don't think that's relevant.
I don't think it's
The way
relevant,
that game
but
was,
it's relevant
the way
in
that game was
13
going, that wasn't
seconds.
relevant.
You just
But
have to
that's-
stop him for 13 seconds. That's it. That's
The
what
way
blows
that
my
the
mind.
way that they were just drawing, the way that those two quarterbacks were playing, they were playing transcendent. So
Yeah.
you've got to eliminate any possibility of them being transcendent. They were playing to that level that it doesn't matter what you scheme up. You've got to go outside of the bounds of normality. And that's why you've got to hold them. You've got to drag them down. You've just got to do everything known to man to stop them.
Yeah, it's insane when you hear that. Apparently, some of these teams practice this stuff, But I guess when you're at that level, you can take care of the regular down and distance plays. That's already been done in install and stuff.
You saw
all the
Michael
unique
Buffer tweeted
situation.
about it.
Yeah,
You saw
it's all the
Michael Buffer
unique.
tweet.
Yeah, it's all those
He
unique
said all they needed
situations.
to do was hold.
Yeah, all those unique situations you end up in that apparently they actually practice for this sort of outcome. Not 13 seconds to score, but get down the field with a minute. You know what I mean? As fast as you can. So all that stuff's always interesting to see.
Right. Now, question. Would you change the overtime rules? And if so, how would you change them?
All right.
No, I wouldn't.
I would.
You're a defensive, like you love your defense too much.
I play
so I'm
defense
just
as
gonna
well, man. But I'll say like this. I kind of feel as though I wanted
I'm offense.
to see.
I'm offense boy. So.
Yeah, I kind of feel as though I wanted to see Josh Allen's rebuke. Like I wanted to see, because obviously my home scored. All right, I wanted to see what Allen had to say about it, and then I'd be at peace.
It denied us that fun.
And I support. I wanted Kansas City to win, but I kind of feel as though Mahomes scored. I mean, Allen could have done the same thing.
But do you know what? Do you know what? I'll say the real rebuke is. So if you look at since they've changed the rule from it being a field goal to win the game versus a touchdown.
Yeah.
In overall, the team that wins the coin toss wins 52% of the time. In the playoffs, the team that wins the coin toss wins 91% of the time. That cannot, because in the playoffs there are good teams.
They're good teams, yeah. They're going to score.
The team winning the coin toss wins 91% of the time, 10 out of 11. Sorry, but you can't be having it determined by a coin toss. That's enough of a statistical sample.
It's not determined by a coin toss, guys. I disagree with you guys, because at the end of the day, there's two sides of the ball, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, but okay, let me put it this way.
And what wins championships?
Generally defense, but I'll put it this way, and I'll put it this way: Bills win the coin toss, they win that game.
Simple. I mean, no, but
99%. Yeah, no, but in that specific game, Bills win the game if they win the coin toss. Yes or no?
Well, the offense was rolling, so I'll probably say yes. But at the end of the day,
so therefore, in that specific game, was decided by a coin toss.
No, but here's my argument: you can't keep punishing defense because of the game. Because if you do that, this feels like it's an attack on defense.
It's not punishing. It's not punishing.
No. It is.
I think it's
no. But wait. At the end of the day, the rules have been rigged so much to favor offense that this rule. If my defense can stop your offense, now all my offense has to do is just kick a field goal and we win.
Yeah, I would
rather they played 10 minutes in the playoffs only. They played 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And whoever wins at the end of those 10 minutes is the winner. Because you can do a 10-minute drive.
I actually just put it like this. I was thinking, coin toss, team that wins, they get a drive, right? If they score, great. All right, other team has to answer. So it's first team to score, like to get an unanswered rebuke. So if, let's say, the Bills go down and score, all right, Kansas City, they don't score, okay? The Bills do it, they win, done. It's the first team to not score, all right? And
I don't want the college system.
If it's field goals, go on all day. An option for that was it has to be a touchdown. If it gets really bad, because it is time restraint, it could
So
basically
how do
be
you want to
sudden
do it?
death.
So basically, by your definition, so what if
That way,
both
defense
defenses
get to
can do
shine,
nothing?
Pete. Defense get to
No, 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 no,
shine.
no, 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 no. At the end of the day, what you're
If
gonna do,
neither
you're gonna have
team's
that.
capable of scoring, right? You know, if you
See,
give that
That's what
example,
I'm
they
saying.
carry on
yeah,
playing. They can't.
but
They're going to second overtime until somebody
yeah,
does.
but here's the thing though. What the rule that you're proposing is like a college thing, whereby okay, so if Kansas
But
City
it's
is
not because the college thing they
no,
start
but
at
listen,
40,
like
isn't it? 30.
rule suggesting doesn't work because here we go. Chiefs score, Bill score. Chiefs score, Bill score. They keep scoring. Who's gonna win the game? Because if I you can't say if I score, he scores, I score. You can't give him the
Until
ball back
somebody
to
makes
him.
a mistake.
It's got to be
So
sudden
it's
death.
like
So
you keep
another
playing.
thing I joked about
So
was
that's why the new overtime rules, I feel like they shouldn't change it anymore. It's sudden death. If your defense cannot step up at the absolute time that you need them to step up to stop a drive to give your offense the chances to kick a field goal, then you deserve to lose the game anyway. At the end of
But
the day,
so
that's how I look
therefore,
at it.
therefore,
I think
your opinion is that both teams deserve to lose.
No, no.
No,
My
no, no, no,
opinion
no, no, no,
is
no, no. The
the
way
defense.
the way that
No,
I'm
no,
going to
but
say
hold
is
on.
your opinion, because you have
Defense.
already put on the record that you believe that the Bills were going to win that game had they won the coin toss. So therefore, you believe
Because
that the Kansas City Chiefs defense
I
did
didn't
not
believe
deserve to.
the Chiefs defense could stop him. Likewise, did I believe the Bills defense could stop Kansas City Chiefs. But the thing is that we've seen stranger things happen in the game. There have been moments in overtime whereby defense steps up and stops the other team from going down the field to score a touchdown. So this is my point. At the end of the day, your defense has to step up at the absolute time you need. This game was a pure offensive game. Both defenses were rubbish. But at the end of the day, defense has to step up
Up
at
to a
some point in the game.
up to a certain point, it wasn't just all offense.
No, but what I'm saying is, at the end
Correct.
of the day,
In that game,
yeah,
it was only the last
it
2
wasn't.
minutes. It was only the
But
last 2
Bills
minutes that was
defense,
pure.
the Bills defense only forced two punts, so you ain't gonna win if your defense only forced 2 punts.
Well, how many punts did the Chiefs defense cause? Two, I think it was.
Yeah, it was the same. That's what I'm saying.
There wasn't
Like,
a lot of punting.
But they did make stops. It's not that they did. They let the Pats let the Bills do to them the previous week.
at the end of the day, they need to get back to some of the old rules. Defense needs to be a factor. Stop rigging the game for offense. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, Peter. The way I will put it is, your opinion is valued. You have the right to be wrong.
No, they're not gonna change the rules. They can't change it.
You have the right to be wrong.
I see Pete's point. In the end of the day,
I see the point.
Like your defense has to play. So what you're doing is
But
you're putting the best part of the team forward.
But when statistically, like let's put it this way, if this continues and it continues to be that the team that wins the coin toss, let's say it continues and 18 out of 20. So we have 9 more overtime games and they continue with the rules like this. 18 out of 20, the team that wins the toss wins the game. That cannot stand.
Oh no, they will change it.
No. But my
But
question is,
if a sport is all about integrity and about fairness of competition,
Yes.
a flip of a coin cannot be the determining factor of who wins and who loses.
It will get to a point basically.
But the reason why it's a determining factor is because the opposing defense is shit. If the defense was good, it won't be a factor, would it?
But we're getting to the point that some offensive players are so good. Like
So that's
these two,
why-
these two guys.
instead-
It doesn't matter what defense you
okay.
put ahead of them.
So
They're all going to be
instead-
scoring touchdowns.
So instead of changing the overtime rules, change some of the rules of the game. Like, the quarterback stuff that you guys have done, whereby some quarterbacks, like the way we have to sack quarterbacks has to change. They changed a couple of years ago that the Brady rule, you can't sack quarterbacks in a certain way. Some of the pass interference rules are absolute bogus. Also, defense has been, they've rigged the game so that it can be high scoring. Get back to some of the old rules to allow actual defense to be played. Stop rigging the game for offense. That's how you fix it.
A certain number of that is not purely just due to it being interesting. Concussion rules is a significant thing. player safety is a significant thing because of the issues
It
that
is.
have been brought out over the time. There are certain rules that people want to be changed. So like certain aspects of roughing the passer, like
Exactly.
certain things. But there are certain things where, like, if you like hitting the quarterback low, I can understand things like that. Like the tackle box, like in other contact sports, has changed significantly. You look at rugby, the tackle zone is very small, and when a guy crouches down, that a tackle box which is that big actually turns into that because of body posture. And people have just had to say, okay, that is how things are now because player welfare is more important than entertainment.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that some of these we've all seen it this year. There's been some roughing the passer calls that have been absolutely egregious. You literally
Correct.
touch a quarterback and the ref throws a flag. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
so
come
that
on now.
aspect is not correct, but there are certain aspects with it. But I think what the fans want to see more is more hits. Now, hits. The issue is that it's difficult to get that fine line of what is safe and what's not safe.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. But that's why the NFL is doing a great job of raising a lot of awareness on how to tackle teaching a lot of these kids, especially at the grassroots level, the correct way of
That will take
tackling. And
time. That will take time
yes,
though
it
for it
would
to
take
filter into
time,
the
but
league.
the same way that as they're teaching the youngsters, the older ones every year the NFL sends teaching tape around to all the teams in the off season, showing them this is the correct way to tackle an opposing player. So the educational awareness going on with the NFL, just allow defense to be played. Don't make it just an offensive league.
All right, moving on. Finally, to the next game. The blood sacrifices of Tom Brady did not work. They are knocked out by the LA Rams. The Super Bowl will have an NFC West team in it, and unfortunately for Peter, it'll not be his team. But thoughts on this game, because the Rams try to throw this one away.
Yep.
They really tried everything they could to try and throw this away. And Stafford had nothing to do with that.
Yep.
Everyone thought, would Stafford be the problem in this game? Cam Akers, 2 fumbles,
Which is
one of them on the 1 yard line.
Yep.
The second one was egregious, I think, because he had got a very good gain, and then he just let the way he was holding the ball. It was
Just
like
pop paranormal
just pop it out,
activity.
yeah. And then Cooper Cup fumbles the ball.
Was it more than once for him?
No, he fumbled it once.
It's once, yeah. Unheard of.
And then the centre throwing the ball back 40 at 35 yards.
Yeah. It's literally
Here,
like
have it. Woohoo!
it's literally like once in a career, if you're lucky, type of moments. You know what I mean? Like a back like Cam Akers fumbling twice, Cooper Cup dropping a catchable ball. It's all these paranormal activities happening on the football
Well,
field.
there was a literal blood sacrifice because
Must have been.
you know. Oh, and we had the first time ever that Brady had been given a personal foul against him.
Was that his first ever one?
Yep.
Yeah,
and in my opinion, in my actual, I'm going to say unbiased opinion now, the referee was right. Because he did get up in his grill and he was aggressive. And in the NFL, you don't do that.
He's been doing all in the career. It's just that
he's been doing it, but this is Hercules. He's the son of Hercules. And
but even Ed wasn't calling those penalties. But hey, this new Hercules, like, you might be Tom, but look, I'm playing for I'm not taking no sides. Basically, correct. I'm just calling as it is.
Calling the game, yeah. And Brady in this game, before all of the luck went his way. He was not playing that well, but then that defensive front of the Rams was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald was creating so much for everyone else on there. He was the game record that everyone thought he would be. Von Miller got himself another sack. I actually asked, so my Bengals friend, I was like, I know who I want to be winning next week's matchups. So I want the Bengals to win and I want the Rams to win. He does not want the Rams. Obviously he supports the Bengals, wants them to go through. He does not want to see that Rams defensive front against them.
Absolutely. If you want Joe Burrow to leave the game on crutches, let him go up against the Rams front seven. You see what the Titans did? It'll be double that.
Now, other thoughts on this game? Because
okay, so my summary of these games is we finally got to see what do you call it? That this is like a kamikaze of Tom Brady's career and how unfortunate he has been at most spots of his career. Because
unfortunate or fortunate?
I mean fortunate sports, that's what I meant. So when you think back to like his greatest comeback of all time against the Atlanta Falcons, to get back in that game, there was a lot of things that went right. Falcons were reeling. They were, fumbles, interceptions, 3 and out, sack fumbles. Those kind of things are what was beginning to happen in this game with the Rams. And literally, it's like the Rams tried everything possible to give this game away, to let Tom Brady come and steal this game. And it's good that they came back in the end to pull out a victory. And Cooper Kupp played absolutely well in this game
from Stafford.
I think Stafford did something that I wasn't expecting him to do. Certainly, he proved that in the fourth quarter, if the game is tight, he can pull it out. And I think, in a sense,
I have confidence in that he's capable of doing that.
No, but in a sense, I look at it in the playoffs, is in the most critical moments when you absolutely got to have it. He proved that he can do it, and that's because sometimes over the course of a player's career, they get to that maturation process. I mean, he's been a quarterback for the past 13 years. So at that point, he's cool, calm, and collected in that situation, knowing what to do. But also, the Bucs defense miscommunicated on that last drive because
that last play.
Zero
blitz.
Because they decided to zero blitz him, and Winfield, who was the safety, came down the box. And I was like, as good as you are, you ain't gonna cover Cooper Kupp. You should have realized who was in the slot. He didn't. And by the time he realized, it was a good old adage whereby sometimes Chris Carter says this, and it's like how players talk in the circles. Excuse my language to our listeners. Like sometimes you think he's not gonna beat me. Cooper Kupp is not that fast. I'm faster than Cooper Kupp. So I think it could have been a bit of cockiness on Winfield's part, thinking I can catch him because I don't think he's that fast. But then by the time he realized he is that fast, he is that quick, and it was like, it was that shit moment, and then you raise on the field and they kick the field goal. Please, for the Rams, they absolutely deserve to win this game, 100%. And now their pass rush is a real threat to any teams that they play going forward. And I think that the Rams pass rush, I don't know, maybe someone showed them tapes of the 2007 Giants, and maybe they told them that, look, to beat Brady, you have to pass rush like your life depends on it.
Yeah,
you have to not let him get comfortable.
I think Aaron's engagement was huge. Like I said, he absorbed like the inside of that defensive line.
He shoved him backwards, and it was the outside. There was one beautiful sack where both ends met at the quarterback
at the same time. Yeah, and I think Tom Brady hates pressure, especially right up the front of his offensive line, because that throws him out because he's a pocket passer.
There was a couple of times. There was one where Aaron made that push, made a really nice push inside.
Yeah.
But Brady was able to kind of use his hips
to the side
and stepped inside and managed to get a pass off, get a good first down as well.
Yeah.
And it's more of when you couple, like, if you collapse the inside completely straight down the middle, because he wasn't completely down the middle, it was kind of like this inside right rather than right up his gut.
Yeah.
Like if
No,
you
I
get
think
both sides collapsing in on themselves,
at the same
then that's
time,
what. Yeah.
I think Von Miller as well. He's been the addition this team needed now. A lot of teams were saying, "Oh, he hasn't quite lived up to what he was meant to do," but he's adjusting to the defense. He's been in that same Denver locker
Hmm.
room his whole career, so he's learning like a new way of doing things. And I think now it's finally paying dividends. Like, I mean, he's a pure edge rusher. He's not like an end. He's not a hand on the dirt. So what that means is that you can actually not only can you rush four, but you can send a guy from the second level of that defense. That's like a third defensive end on the field, but
Hmm.
way more explosive. So that obviously helped out tremendously. And I want to give a shout out to Matthew Stafford in those situations where a lot of teams are very tentative, like they hold back. Matthew Stafford went straight for the jugular twice, almost back to back plays. We're talking
Hmm.
right down the field, deep passes right down the field, where a lot of teams, head coaches would be like, no, no, we got to play it safe. We're going to run, and then we're going to do a 15-yard, 12-yard pass. No, Matthew Stafford's like, no, no, I'm going to go right for the jugular. If I mess this up, this game is done. But guess what? I have confidence in our guys. I have confidence in my own ability, and I know I can do this. So right there to Cooper Cup. And then I think who else did he hit all the way up at the top?
No, the Cooper Cup was the deep one.
He hit Cup twice,
Yeah.
Oh,
He hit him
twice,
to the
yeah.
left side. He hit him to the
Oh, okay,
left.
yeah.
and then
And
he hit
Cup
Yeah.
back
did
to the
this
deep
like
middle.
lovely, like that kind of like he went forwards, then he shimmied a lot to be able to get rid
Yeah.
of the
So
coverage on that route.
those two throws to sort of put the game away and just like completely rip out the heart of Tom Brady now.
Well, the
I thought
quote
that was great.
was,
This is what they brought Stafford in to do.
to steal their soul.
Yeah, literally.
It was fun to kind of steal their soul
Yeah,
soul
no,
on
that
that
was
one.
it was an
Do you know
awesome
what?
game,
So
man.
I'm just praying that can someone send that quote to TB12 so they can come back and flop again, because I know he likes that kind of thing to motivate him, to come back. And I know right now I don't know what team's gonna go back to, because the backs ain't gonna have a scoring defense, so we'll see how that one plays out. But at the same time, I gotta give shout out to the Rams, man. They played really well, and
but
the
Jalen
way,
Ramsey got burnt on that one play against Mike Evans.
This is
yeah, that
one
was
play, man.
nasty.
Like it's all right. Like he did good the whole game, but it was unfortunately it was a touchdown pass. If that happened midfield, no big deal. But it had a
But
massive effect on the game.
it had a
I would
huge
Do you
rather
think,
impact on the game.
he gets
yo,
beaten every game but doesn't give up
well,
a TD.
Daryl Reeves if I give up a 50-yard touchdown pass?
No. I hear that, but
Exactly.
I'm like, it's worse because they got points off it, 6 points off it. If that was
No, but
midfield,
did you hear
yeah,
the question
like,
I asked you?
all right, I get your point.
If you are if you're on an island, yeah, cornerback, you can't give up. You can't listen.
You can't give up
If
that.
my
He got burnt, but he also looked like he gave up on the play as well a little
No,
bit.
I mean,
exactly
Mike
like
Evans did something clever. Like, if you watch the replay, um,
he
this
beat him on the
actually
line.
infighting.
That's what
It's all in
happened.
the
He beat him on
hands.
the line.
It's all
He
in
beat
the
him on the
hands.
line.
He beat him on the line, but as he went deep, Jalen tried to go for like a hold. All right. Now I saw Mike Evans. It's clever. He grabbed Jalen by the wrist and pushed his hand away. And when that happened, it took
Nah.
his balance away.
Yeah.
And that
And then he looked like he was falling off.
that
Yeah.
half a second step, that was all he needed. So it's small things like that. Those are
The
the
thing is like,
intricacies of the
see,
position.
when I watch Jalen Ramsey play cornerback, right, he gets away with something that is like a vet move, and a lot of cornerbacks don't do, but he does it. And I think Jalen Ramsey is a 4-4 guy. He's not a 4-3, you know, type of a cornerback, but he's technically sound to the point whereby he does this type of holding, like we'll just explain, and he gets away with it a lot of the time. They're not gonna call a hold, because Richard Sherman used to do the same exact type of holding down the sideline, whereby they grab your arm, but it's so because it's hidden from the view of the sideline ref or any of the. It's almost like they hide their arm inside your arm, almost like.
Yep.
So it's kind of like the refs can't see that they're holding you.
Yep.
And then when the ball comes, they're in a great position to break up the pass. Oh, one of the last true corner, I think, in the NFL, and I think that's Gilmore and Reeves, are corners that play step by step. They're not gonna hold you, but it'll be right there in your hip pocket.
Yep.
You know, and that was bad though, Ramsey.
It was just a really tight play to see, because when I saw Jalen sort of reach across, I was like, I know what he's doing, because he's pulling his hand away, which means Mike Evans can't two-hand the ball. But Mike Evans he countered it. Like if you watch the play, he grabs the bottom of Jalen Ramsey's hand and he pushes it down further. And what that did was it basically put Jalen off balance, and you actually see him stumble for half a step. And that half a step allowed Mike Evans to pull away. So that's like some like elite play stuff. Like if you watch it, you actually see the point he stumbles, and that's why he lost that play. It wasn't because Jalen wasn't in the position. Mike Evans forced the error. So that's a heads up on Mike Evans, but they've been going at it the whole game. And I think Mike Evans kind of figured it out. He's like, next time he puts his hand up there, I'm just gonna yank it to the side, and I'm gonna take his body weight where he's already going. If Mike Evans pushes that hand backwards to the side, it's not going to work. You have to almost pull Jalen Ramsey towards you, so he messes up his stepping. His footwork gets messed up, and as a corner, if your footwork is out of sync, it will cost you the play, and that's exactly what happened there. But yeah, man, this game was awesome.
Shout out to Brady for spotting that though. I mean, he went to him straight away.
Yeah, he saw it. He was like, "Yo, that's
wait a minute, you're giving Brady credit? Oh my god."
I give him credit. I don't give him credit.
I got the eye roll. That's all I needed from that. Now, moving on to the Saturday night game in the snow globe at Lambeau, frozen field, minus 15 degrees centigrade. Packers, how do they recover from losing to the San Francisco 49ers again in the playoffs?
They don't recover.
Aaron Rodgers is a fraud in the playoffs. The reason why I say that,
but
let me explain. Right?
Like, I've seen the meme of with the next pick in the draft, the San Francisco 49ers pick 4 playoff wins.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Well, that was pretty funny. But here's the thing though. So the reason why I play majority of this game on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders is because this game he did something uncharacteristic. Rodgers was trying to play a bit of hero ball. He tried to look for Devontae so much, and I was
he wasn't
like,
looking for anybody else, was he?
This is the playoffs. Trust your guys. Play to win the game. Rodgers have shown you can play this game whereby you go to each receiver, you spread the ball around. You used to do that in the past. Why is it now you're focused on Devontae? Because the thing is, this is one of those games whereby at the start of the season, Rodgers said it would be great if we had the number 1 seed. It would be great if we had home field advantage, and you got home field advantage in Lambeau.
And they stunk it up.
Exactly. That's what you wanted.
Yeah.
A key play in this game was during one of the key third down drives, he had Allen Lazard wide open in the middle of the field, and he didn't throw him that pass. Like there was no defender near to Allen Lazard. He was in the middle of the field all by himself, and I think that was the last pass he made before they turned the ball over to the 49ers, who went ahead to kick the field goal, because he threw it to Devontae Adams, who was in double coverage. It was a safety and a cornerback, so he wasn't able to make the grab. Well, he's not DeAndre Hopkins, so that's not going to happen. But at the same time, what I'm saying is that you should have hit Allen Lazard.
A big thing in this game, what I feel, is their game plan went out the window once Dylan got injured.
Was Aaron Jones eligible?
No, but the downhill running.
Dylan is the banger.
That downhill running that he was doing, because in that cold, he was having much more of an impact than Jones was.
Because he's the power back, isn't it? So
It's the power
you're
back, and
gonna
the power
power.
back in the cold's going to help,
Yeah,
correct?
you power it. Yeah.
And once they didn't have to worry about the run, and they basically had Devontae Adams not on complete lock, but to lock to enough that he couldn't affect the game for them.
Mhm.
They weren't getting they were getting so much pressure to Rodgers that he wasn't able to make he wasn't making good throws at all. That pass rush was getting there. There wasn't a shed load of time. The Bakhtiari injury
I mean,
has had a big impact on that game. I think him not being able
yeah,
to be out there because left tackle, that is your most important guy.
yeah, but
And
I
that
think in the same time, I just feel like there were some instances whereby he had time, and there were a few guys open in the middle of the field. Why didn't you not
mhm.
just trust it? You know, Lazard was open a couple of times in the middle of the field. Tanyan was open a couple of times in the middle of the field.
No,
Those were like
Tanyan
drive.
didn't play. You mean Deguara? Because Tanyan didn't play.
Yeah, the Guara was
DeGuara.
open down the field. It was almost like Rogers was like Devante Bus in this game.
Mate,
Mhm.
if you look at the actual numbers, okay, Devontae Adams, 9 for 90 yards. Aaron Jones, you saw that big play he had, yeah, 129 yards,
Mhm.
receiving 9 receptions. Guess after the 90, guess what the next receiving is, yard wise?
Well, like something for like 10
25.
yards.
6 yards. And it's to that one lone pass Lazard made on third down. That's it.
Do you get
Every
what I'm
other receiver
saying?
in that game has 0. So basically, it was Devontae
Who else in that
Adams,
game?
one big play from Aaron Jones,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Lazard, it's just one catch for 6 yards to help get a
Okay.
third down. No one else.
Now from the offense to special teams. If anybody has not seen the technical breakdown that Pat McAfee stated, that he's broken down that blocked punt. Because obviously he was a punter in the league. He knows the technical, from a technical standpoint. And he said that move that the defensive player made is a once in a lifetime move that works. He's never seen that chop work.
Mm-hmm.
Chop, and then you get a free run at the punter. Because normally the way that their feet are positioned, you can make the chop work, but the leg's in the way, so you get slowed down and you don't get there. But he was there, and he was unblocked completely.
That was insane.
Yes, that's true. I mean, like, and even when I saw that play, I was like, wow. The thing is, you know, the guy on the edge, the number 96 guy. I was like, why did you not block Jimmy Ward? I know the guy next to you got his hands chopped, but he blocked the guy on the edge, and I was thinking,
Yeah, but he
well,
didn't
by
have
the
his
time,
feet in the right position. That was the thing. The guy who got his hand chopped didn't have his foot in the right position. And the way he was positioned relative to because he was the tackle, right? He was the tackle.
yeah,
The wing
but then there
tackle,
was,
then the guard. So the tackle's
yeah,
position wasn't correct relative to the guard.
oh, so
The
that's why
thing
he
with
didn't
like
block inside. That's why he
special
blocked
teams,
So
outside.
therefore, there was this gap effectively between the guard and the tackle that he was able to shoot through.
yeah. The
I
thing
was
with
thinking,
special teams is
should the
that,
tackle have blocked inside instead of blocking outside, or maybe his role is to block outside?
well, no, their legs are cross hatching, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
only
they
way
weren't on that
they
play.
can, yeah, so the only way they could get past you is if they literally jump between your bodies, like right in the middle. But that just never happens. With field goals, that's why it's so rare. It's like fortress syndrome. Like it's very hard to get through the front, nearly almost impossible. But once you
Mhm.
get through, that's it. It's just a home stretch, and then you can block the ball because there's
Because
very
they had a block punt, they had a block field goal and a
yeah,
block
and a
punt in
block
this game.
and a block punt. So special teams like messed up for you twice, and I think it happened like on their last playoff run too, didn't it? So all I know is the special teams coordinator for Green Bay. I don't think he's going to be there next year, regardless of what happens to that team.
No,
Because
but at the end of the day, I just feel like, well, okay, I get a
Could it
special,
be just
the special
execution
team.
more than coaching? No.
Yeah, I get the special teams miscues and stuff, but you're Aaron Rodgers, so you shouldn't have to go to
Correct.
um special teams. And also, this is a game whereby Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play well.
No, Jimmy G's 3-0 when he doesn't score a touchdown in the playoffs.
How? That is one of like the
That's a
weird
stat
good
and a half.
starts.
Like, stat that.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird good start
the
in the
formula.
sense that
That's
it's
the
like,
formula. I don't need to score touchdowns. Touchdowns are
Let's just be like,
overrated.
no, Jimmy, don't score. Don't go for a touchdown. Just throw it. Don't go for a touchdown. We're going to win this game.
how? It's like,
Hey, he gets like a lot of bad reputation. But I think Jimmy G is
I
he's
think
someone.
from a motivational point of view, I think that team, the way he is within that locker room, maybe between the offense and the defense, maybe there's something that none of us see from the public eye that is invaluable.
Yeah, no. Certain teammates have said that they don't like the fact that he gets badmouthed and slated constantly. Because I think they understand the value he has for that team. They wouldn't be here if he was incompetent. Like, don't get me wrong, he always makes one big error every game. Sometimes it costs them the game. Other times they can work their way back. But I think Shanahan has done an awesome job for a head coach that's been under a lot of public ire, like as far as him underachieving. A lot of people didn't expect him. They were saying, well, he's not living up to what we brought him in to do, and I think he's ironed that out. Like, he's shut down all those haters. All that's left for him to do now, I mean, of course, if he wins the whole thing, it's great. But I think he's proven again, hey, I will get the team there, but it's up to the players to want it enough to go the rest of the way.
okay, so
Like,
Cal
Shanahan is
ain't
not the
winning it.
problem. I thought he was. I thought he was kind of overhyped midway through the season, even towards the end. But in my opinion, he's sort of cleared that up because I've seen him do it twice. So for me now,
And also
twice.
with what I'll say about
don't
Garoppolo is
even go there.
now what I'll say about
twice.
Garoppolo is when
What,
it
choke
mattered
twice?
the most. But when it mattered the most for him to get the ball down the field, for them to be able to set up the field goal,
Yeah.
he did it.
Yeah, put the team in a position to win.
Okay.
I'm not saying win a Super Bowl. I'm talking about.
Okay, I get a point, but
Yeah.
well, what has he done twice?
He's gotten the team deep into the playoffs, if not the championship game. He hasn't got that.
Choke twice?
Well, he's on his way there now.
What, choke twice?
This will be number 2.
No, he already choked once against Brady, and then he choked
But that's what I'm
again
saying.
against
He
Mahomes.
got his team there. So all I'm saying is that a lot of people die.
One thing
without
I give him
Shanahan.
credit for is he's a great adjuster during the season. Something that my head coach needs to learn from is they changed their offense to the Debo offense. This is not Jimmy's offense. This is the Debo offense. That offense goes
Get the ball in the hands
as far
of
as
your
Debo can get him.
playmakers. Get the
You know
ball
what
in
I'm
the
saying?
hands of him and Kittle, and let the rest be
I
the
Eli
think
Mitchell.
once he switched the offense to making it more about, let's take advantage of Debo's skill set. We've got a great player here who can receive the ball, who can run the ball, who can occasionally throw the ball here and there. Let's run the offense through Debo's skill set. A bit like how the Saints sometimes can run their offense through Kamara's skill set.
Do you know
And
what?
that's helped them tremendously have a great second half and playoff push.
Do you know what, from the defensive point of view, that I didn't see? So their secondary have committed a lot of penalties this season, generally. But I think that pass rush was so good, that defense didn't need to commit penalties in that game.
No, they didn't need to. But then also, I just feel like
I think Rodgers' play also lended it into that as well.
Exactly. Have they been fortunate with some of the quarterbacks they've played though?
Okay, we'll talk about obviously the championship matchup later on in the week, because obviously they've got Rams 49ers third time that they're meeting this season.
Yeah.
So it'll be very
But my
interesting.
question was, can we say that they've also been a little bit fortunate with the quarterbacks that they've faced down the stretch? I mean, they faced a bad Matthew Stafford last game of the season, notwithstanding.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I don't know. Did they face any top quarterbacks before that? I don't think so.
Let me look at the 2021 season for the San Francisco 49ers. So they faced at the end of their season Texans, so no.
Mm-hmm.
Titans, they lost that game anyway, so it's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons, so no, because that team was going nowhere. They beat the Bengals in Cincinnati.
When
Week 14.
when the ball went on the tear, was it during when Boy was tearing it up?
So it was December 12th. So they did face one team, I would say. The Titans, they lost that game, so it's irrelevant. But of the teams they beat, they had
Probably
Jacksonville, Minnesota, Bengals, Falcons, Texans, and a bad Matthew Stafford in that Rams game. But hey, 49ers managed to get through that one. It's another year of completely and utterly choking from the Packers' point of view. One stat I wanted to bring was, so for the last 30 years, the Packers have had 2 Hall of Famers back to back.
Who are
They
they?
have
Is it Driver? Donald Driver?
Favre.
Yeah.
No.
Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is going to be a Hall of Famer, correct?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 quarterbacks in there. And they've only got 2 titles in 30 years. And they've had that talented quarterbacks.
Yeah. I think right now, the window is shut for them. Just looking at where the team's at, like from a roster standpoint, a lot of those guys, it's going to be hard
we
to
don't
keep.
know what's happening with Devontae, so
We don't know what's happening with Devontae. I think he's going to go.
I think they're franchising Tyree.
He ain't
Yeah.
going nowhere.
They're
They are not
franchising
letting
him.
Devontae go. They're gonna
They're
franchise him.
franchising him. So the conversation, like, so Aaron Rodgers, today when he was on the Pat McAfee show, he stated that his decision of what he will do will be made before free agency hits, and the reason why he's going to do that is that he wants to give people like Devontae a clearer picture.
Yeah.
Because those are people he values in that organization, and he wants to give. And now he says he's got a half decent relationship with the GM there, so he wants them to be able to plan for whatever decision he makes.
How nice of him.
Which that's what he said publicly now.
Yeah.
So if he does that and he says, "Okay, this is what I'm doing," or "This is what I want," at least it's better than the saga of last year.
Yeah. No, I think he's taken his best crack at it. I mean, he's had an awesome season, an MVP season. He just fell flat on his face when they kind of needed him to play at his best. Yeah, so I think the thing is, like, I think this loss in particular, how he lost to, is going to tarnish his legacy. I don't think we're going to be talking about him anymore in terms of oh, he's such a good passer, like his mechanics are amazing. Like, we've heard enough of that. You know, at some point you want to see the
We're gonna win
championships.
games.
You know what I mean? And he has won one. Like, you
Oh,
can't take that away from him.
no. So now I realise where the 30-year comment was. You had 2 Hall of Famers in 30 years, over a 30-year span, and you have as many Super Bowl wins as Eli Manning.
Oh yeah, true.
That's disappointing.
That's really disappointing.
Green Bay's franchise.
I think the fan base, they do deserve a lot better than that. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have one of those careers, almost like a Dan Marino, like where people look back on him like, damn man, he was amazing. Like I think Dan Marino was the Aaron Rodgers of like the 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, but Dan Marino never won a ring, so that was
He never won a ring, but he was another one of those guys that people viewed as the best like thrower arm talent they'd ever seen.
Some people still think that.
Some people still think Dan Marino, like no one could throw the ball like he could. So Aaron Rodgers is that type of talent, and he still is, to be honest. But it's just he could never win the big one, and that's gonna be like his career. But not to take away, he is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best to ever do it. I think he'll bounce back on his feet, but I think.
Do you think he ends up somewhere else?
Oh yeah, I think he's not going back to Green Bay. He's either going to retire or he's going to another team. Other people say, where else could he go?
He was wearing royal blue, Colts royal blue during that.
I think he'll go to
He's staying in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think he.
You think he's staying in the Packers?
Yeah, the reason why I say that is because the Packers can't get rid of him. They can't. Who they gonna play? Jordan Love? I think they know Jordan Love ain't it. So they'll do whatever they can.
Matt LaFleur, the coach, has said that he would love to have him back, and that's a lot different from what we heard last 2 seasons, where he's been like, well, he can do what he wants to do. Matt LaFleur realizes that they need Aaron to stay relevant.
From a trade standpoint, if they would be trading him, they won't be trading him before June the 1st, I don't think, because the cap hit would be 26.8 million. But the dead cap after it would be 19 million, so it's less difficult to swallow. But you never know, because I think what it is that this weekend showed us that elite quarterback play in general will win you. Especially in the AFC side of the ball. I think more important on the AFC than the NFC, correct, Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elite quarterback play, top level quarterback play is the only way that you're going to be getting to the last dance in the AFC.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the way it's panning out at the moment. So there's going to be a lot of teams vying for quarterbacks, actually reconsidering their options.
If Rodgers actually think about it, right? His best chance to get to the Super Bowl in the next 2-3 years, if he plays 3 more years, is actually through the NFC, because the amount of elite quarterbacks in the NFC is limited. And if he can get his act together and play well in the postseason, they have a good chance to get to the Super Bowl in the next 3 years.
Okay, so the only thing that I would say is that if he does go to another team, I don't think he goes to another team in the NFC.
I
think he'll go to the AFC.
Well, if you look at the NFC teams, I mean, I just think one team that could make sense, but the money's not there for them right now. It's the Saints.
Oh yeah, but they've got nothing to offer. They can't swallow.
Basically, just go run the offense. They have the defense to back you up. Well, would the 49ers be interested in Aaron Rodgers?
Nope.
Maybe.
Nope.
I don't know after that guy beat him up, but
no. I think is the funny thing is that he was a Californian kid who wanted to play for the 49ers, didn't get picked up by them, and then gets perpetually.
I wouldn't be surprised, but the 49ers have that guy of the future, so I don't think that's going to happen.
So they've got their guy for the future. Now moving on to the last matchup. The man with ice in his veins, Joe Burrow, has made his way to the AFC Championship after being sacked time and time again in that matchup.
I just want to say it was 10 sacks.
Is it 10?
Officially, they gave it a 9, but we all know it was 10 sacks.
Why? Because that kneel down technically was a sack. No, I'm not counting that as a sack.
It was almost like a give yourself
it's
up.
It's a kneel down. It's a kneel down.
It was a give yourself up.
It's a give yourself up.
Was it?
It's a.
See, can we have a rule that quarterbacks can't do that? If you know I'm gonna get you, why are you gonna fall down?
You know, but this
Let me
one
get my
was
sack.
this was that was to
I'm-
position
I'm-
himself for the field goal.
Yeah,
That's nothing to do with pass rush.
I think
I
he
know,
basically.
but
I
let me
think
get
he
my
went.
sack.
I think he went down.
That's
And the
just
guy
like
threw
him
over
going to
top.
the side and kneeling. That's not a sack. Come on. Like I know you're defensive bias, but like no.
Hey, like he had to overcome so much in that game. Like he was getting, at like the the Bengals offensive line right now, especially the inside.
It was one man. It was one man that was getting beat. Number 77.
Yeah, he was just getting blasted the whole time, and
It wasn't just him. The whole
Yeah,
offensive line was
no.
I think the
But
outside was able to hold up enough.
yeah, no,
They were getting, and they were getting slaughtered.
he resembled Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
But all of
He
them
was the
Swiss
hole.
cheese, so-
Like no, he was the hole in the Swiss cheese. Like he was not providing any protection.
Well,
Yeah,
what
no,
did
it
Burrow
looked
do to
bad.
him? Did Burrow not buy him any presents?
I think
I'm
it's just
surprised. I'm
PFF
surprised.
put their grades and I think he had like a 30 or something like that in that
Yeah.
game or something.
I'm
I'll cut
surprised
him right
Burrows
away.
got out of that game like sound. I think he definitely took a few knocks. Like he was like hobbling around a little bit, but nothing that would stop him from playing. But there were like a few hits he took where there was like there was one particular play where I think it was a late whistle, all right, and they still bring him to the ground. We're talking they speared his.
Oh no,
knee.
they hit him in the kneecaps.
They hit him
That
on the
should have been a
kneecap.
penalty.
That should
That should
have been a
penalty.
because
Like
he
they hit him on the
folded.
kneecaps,
Yeah,
and he
then the whistle
crumpled.
went.
The whistle had already gone.
That was absolutely brutal. I
Because
asked
it
the
was a
coach,
full
I was
start. It was a full
screaming.
start. It was a full
Yeah.
start on the
Which
play.
part of the defender's body hit his knee?
It was shoulder, so it was shoulder to the kneecap. If you watch the
That's
play,
legal.
Pete, I know you want to defend
No,
your
but the
guy,
play was dead.
but the play was dead, so the whistle had gone,
It was.
and this is
Listen,
like
it was the heat of the moment. I couldn't control
No,
my
no, no,
momentum.
no, 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 no,
that
no,
wasn't
no,
heat of
no,
the
I was
no.
moment.
coming.
That was not hitting the
Put
moment.
it
You
like
can't.
this: Burrows had already given up the play, so he basically just flicked it away, and he was basically like calm. He didn't try to get out of the way of the hit, and the guy speared his legs, and you see him crumble, you see him fold, and,
No, but
and
here's
when
the
he
thing though.
lands,
Like,
I was
okay,
there, like
so
I was the coach,
the
I'd be
defender,
screaming.
the defender is at fault here, right? And it should have been a flag. But bro, you need to know better. Protect yourself, man. Why are you going to do that?
I think
but
he knew the hit was coming, but I didn't think that he thought
I don't
that
think he
was
could get
gonna
out of
be
the
that
way.
forceful. I
He
didn't think
could.
he was like,
He
this
could.
guy
He
was
had a
actually going to
chance.
spear me after the play had gone dead. So when it happened, I
What
was
there
like
are
up in
some
arms.
players that play outside the boundary of the rules. You know, as
I
much as you try
understand that.
to. I mean, he shouldn't have done that. The defender shouldn't have done that. But there are players that sometimes get overboard like that.
Yeah, shout out to him for sticking it in there, staying tough, and sort of sealing the
Sacked
deal.
9 times, intercepted once.
He still found a way.
Actually,
Jamar Chase, 100 yards. T. Higgins, 96. Yazama, 71 yards. Those boys still managed to do something.
That's how you
But
spread the
that
ball
defense,
around, Aaron.
but that defense for the Bengals, they had themselves first play of the game. They picked Tannehill. Last play of their game, their specific, they pick him again.
see this game. Okay, so Burrow was
three
good. I
interceptions.
wouldn't go as far as say Burrow ice in the veins, not yet. But I think my credit in this game goes to the Bengals defense. They stepped up big time. I didn't think they were gonna step up like that, and they effectively really won this game. I mean, when we look at the conference of the game, that's why sometimes I rep for my defensive guys because we don't get enough credit. Because these games, if they didn't come up with 3 turnovers, Tennessee probably could have ended up winning this game. But the way they stepped up, the way they effectively shut down Derrick Henry, they didn't let Henry go off.
Who was the best player for the Bengals in this game?
DJ Reader.
That is the man who I was going to say. DJ Reader consistently, like, was it 2 tackle for losses in this game? Consistently getting in the backfield.
Exactly. He shut down the running game. He said,
Yeah.
"You shall not pass," and they did not pass. And
Except
The
when they used
Titans-
Deontay Foreman, like 4 for 66. He had more rushing
Yeah.
yards than Henry.
the Titans did something this game which I felt was a bit uncharacteristic, and maybe they'll go back, watch the tape over the offseason and realize that, those outside runs they used to give Derrick Henry, they need to bring back into the playbook. I mean, Derrick
I
Henry, as
don't
good
think
as he
Henry.
is,
I don't think he didn't look 100%. He didn't look close to 100%
no,
for
no, no,
me.
he didn't. But they never really attempted to give him like the stretch run play to the
Or
side.
could they have given that to Foreman, because the way he was running was beautiful.
It was beautiful, but I don't think Sermon. I don't know if they didn't run it because they didn't trust Foreman to have that burst. Because remember, Derrick Henry, as much as he can run on the inside, he made his name. And I think Marcus said this last year, by running on the outside, where
Mhm.
he surprisingly can go the distance once he
Yeah.
gets into
Yeah, because
steam
once he gets up
down the
to
sideline.
speed. Mhm.
Exactly. So it was interesting how they didn't attempt. I know he wasn't 100%, but at least attempt it to say, okay, effectively, we're not going to do that because we don't think he can do those type of plays. But shout out to DJ Reader. He really stepped up for the Bengals. And the Bengals defense really stepped up in this game because the Titans offense was getting so much pressure. And they weren't really blitzing, though. They were just four-man rush. And they were getting so much pressure off
Well,
their
they didn't
four-man
need to.
rush.
They probably could have put a 2-man rush and still got through. They just needed
They
to put the
don't,
2 men in the
so much
middle, and that was
pressure.
it.
The
Yeah, no,
Bengals offense didn't
I
do
think
much, but shout out to the Bengals defense. They really stepped up.
yeah, I think in this game the Titans really saw what they had in Tannehill, in that they're gonna need more from him. I think he's back next year, but they're definitely gonna need more from him. I think they drafted QB late in the draft and see what they could get. Maybe they try free agent. I don't know, but the way I saw it was I was on their Reddit and they really felt like Derrick Henry was going to be their savior here. The, the Kings back, but there were like loads of
It
reasons
just he
coming
was
off
he
injury.
just he didn't look his normal self.
Yeah, he's not 100%. He can play, but he's not 100%. Not just that, but it doesn't matter how good the back is. If you stack the box, he's not gonna get going. Even if it is Derrick Henry.
Um, but the man that did have ice in his veins, definitely kicker for the Bengals.
Oh yeah, McPherson.
Like,
Yeah,
I love what he said to the holder. He was like, "Looks like we're going to the AFC Championship game." This was before him kicking it.
yeah. But
That's what
That's
he said.
confidence. He
That's
knows.
confidence.
He knows
That's
what's
not
going
arrogance. That's confidence that he knows that it's going straight through the.
yeah, no, that was an awesome thing.
They
to
didn't even
see.
try and ice him. They didn't even, like, Vrabel had a timeout. He didn't even try it.
Yeah, sometimes
When
that can backfire, man.
when listen,
Sometimes
when
you ice it,
someone
it goes in, it doesn't go in, and then they kick it and it actually does. So
when someone is that cocky and that confident, it doesn't matter how many times you ice them, they are nailing it.
And he absolutely. And that was the beauty about this weekend. It was 3 game-winning field goals, 1 field goal to tie it in the last second, and then obviously Kelsey with that catch.
yeah,
It was the lowest margin of victory across cumulative margin of victory for the 4 games in NFL history. After the previous weekend, where the games were blowouts in the majority, I think 4 out of 6.
Yep.
This was perfect. This is the perfect anecdote to that, because antidote, not anecdote, antidote to that, because these games were amazing. As all 4 were great to watch.
this is what you want to
They
see.
all had
like,
drama,
yeah, this is what
and
you
we're
want
gonna
to
have
see,
drama next week. So
especially towards like the tail end of the year. This is how you know that the playoff system is working. The cream of the crop rises, and you see the best teams play. You're not going to end up with dull games. I think that's what no one wants to see right now. Everyone wants to see these high octane games coming from every team that's still in the competition.
even if it's
So,
high octane from a defensive point of view, with
yeah,
sacking the quarterback 9 times, or it's high octane when it comes to the offensive point of view, when you have Allen and Mahomes doing the madness that they did. Right, awards time.
yep.
Baller of the week.
So many to choose from.
Who is your baller of the week?
So many to choose from.
Mine's going to be a losing team guy, but he's my baller of the week.
I'm gonna go with Kansas City Chiefs. I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. Um, it would be very easy for me to pick a QB. Like, let's be honest, there's a lot of guys who played amazing, but Tyreek Hill for me, I think the plays he made during that game, especially the season
That touchdown.
saving scamper, if he doesn't make that play, that game is already over. To go that far with the ball and to watch, like, it's almost as though the other team was in slow motion. I honestly don't see, he's running through and away from defenders. So, and then to have the audacity, to do the peace sign before he's past someone. So it's like, even though you have the angle, that's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm already
He never had
celebrating.
he never had the angle. He was always
Yeah,
going past.
Tyreek.
Yeah, but that's the kind of confidence you see, and it's moments like that that remind defenders that this is a dangerous team. Tyreek Hill is a dangerous receiver. He's had a fairly okay season, but it's been quiet by his standards, But I think in that game he kind of reminded everyone, yo, I know some of you guys said I fell out the top five. I'm definitely in it right now, or at least like you need to think about me as one of those top guys. So yeah, Tyreek Hill for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Peter, baller of the week.
Oh, fantastic! So many to choose from. Ball of the week. I'm gonna go with my homeboy.
Twice in a row.
And yeah, the reason why I'm going with my homeboy is because he done something that you're not talking about it, but I just hope I'm highlighting so people can talk about it. When you drive your team 13 seconds to kick a game time field goal, that is legendary. That's something that they're gonna put into canon in the Hall of Fame museum. I know they've already taken a game ball and they're gonna take some stuff and put in there because I know the Bills defense was bad on that drive, but to move the ball to kick a field goal in 13 seconds. Normally when you have like 20, 25 seconds, oh, we got a chance here.
No,
But
do you want to know the fun one is? Mahomes moved the ball in less time than it took for the Cowboys in that one play.
See, if I'm Jerry Jones, right? I'll start Mike McCarthy right now. I look at that, I'm like, look, I'm sorry, Mike, where you gonna go? I'm sorry. Like, nah.
Oh man.
You try to tell me we had more time and we couldn't even get to spike the ball? Oh,
It's terrible, man.
that's
Crazy.
terrible. So that's for that drive alone, that's why he's my ball of the week, because 13 seconds realistically, and the Bills are not a bad defense. They were number one across a lot of
Rest of the
categories.
league,
So
yeah.
Generally, they're not a bad
exactly.
defense. On that day, they were pretty atrocious.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm talking about the record coming into the game. So you expect
Yeah,
them like
correct.
with 13 seconds, and I think Josh Allen has just given you guys the lead,
Yeah.
whereby literally 13 seconds keep them from field goal range, and you win the game.
I think that's why McDermott didn't do anything. He was probably like, you've got
This
one
is
of the
done.
best defenses in the league. It's
No,
all right. It'll
but
be fine.
no.
No, but
Can't be that
even
naive.
if
You've
they were
got
gonna
to give
kick
no
a
chance.
field goal, you've got to make it a long field goal, like one of those 60 yarders or 59, 60 yards. Then
Yeah.
if the kicker make the kick, you'd be like, all right, he's a great kicker. That's why he tied
Yeah.
the game.
All right, my baller of the week is the other guy. In that game. It's Josh Allen. Like, he's so far. Actually, I'm gonna put it this: so far, he's my baller of the playoffs. He's had, was it 9 touchdowns,
Yeah.
11 incompletions over 2 games?
That's insane.
That's insane.
His quarterback play has been far beyond the expectations of when they drafted him. Or far beyond the expectations after his first couple of years. Like, the astronomical rise that he has had in his quarterbacking play. And in that game, he was nothing short of extraordinary. The plays that he made in that game on fourth down, running players over, the passes he made, that special pass to Gabriel Davis for the long touchdown, it was all perfection. And like, that's why he's my nominee, because he could do nothing more to win that game. There's nothing more that he could have done, and when you have that, you just got to put your hand up and say he's played amazingly well. And that's why he's my bottle of the week.
Question.
I think he'll continue.
I think
to get better as well.
Yeah, and there are still things he can improve on as well. So that's the scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what is scary. You've got Justin Herbert, who's
He still needs to improve to that level.
Yeah,
I think.
He's heading into his third season now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he could be that next guy to go Super Saiyan. Like, we'll just have to wait and see, because sometimes that third year it clicks.
Oh God! Can you imagine those games
another,
between the Chiefs and Chargers?
Can we imagine if we get another guy just go insane next year and add to that division? Like, I figured it out. I'm now scoring 50 a game.
Just imagine Aaron Rodgers. Just imagine Aaron Rodgers ends up with the Broncos.
Yeah, that division is just going to be like
that division. That's okay, that'll pick up a bad division.
Like the NBA, where one coast just has everything.
The NFC West and the AFC West is just going to be like some stacked.
Listen, if Aaron Rodgers goes to the AFC, yeah. Whoa. They might also reorganize the NFC. Just put Cardinals, 49ers, and Rams in different divisions because no, they're just gonna have to, because the NFC representation, the NFC side of the conference, it will be literally the NFC West plus whoever else battling, and somebody from the NFC West is gonna make the Super Bowl. Because right now, if Aaron Rodgers moves and TB12 retires, I'm like, who are the elite quarterbacks that's gonna?
Well, you look at the
NFC.
You look at the NFC South. You've got, say, Tampa Bay lose TB12, they lose a lot of their defensive players. Yeah. They don't have a quarterbacking solution there.
Yeah,
and they're not going to be drafting anyone this year.
No,
you wouldn't think. The Panthers, they're not going anywhere well quickly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons, they look devoid.
Yep.
Saints, they've got this huge cap issue.
Mm-hmm.
So the NFC South would be dead if Tom Brady goes.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at the NFC East, Cowboys, and your Eagles. I don't think unless Jalen Hurts makes this step up that we don't think he's capable of, correct? That none of us on this pod think he's got that capability from a passing point.
I'll give him a shot, even though who's the Eagles guy won't give him a shot. I'll give Jalen a shot.
I think what people are thinking, like, because the numbers are similar between Jalen and Josh Allen when it comes to how they've started their careers. But the difference is Allen was the exception to the rule. He's not the rule.
He was, and Jalen Hurts hasn't got Allen's arm talent. So
hasn't got his arm talent, hasn't got his accuracy. If Jalen Hurts somehow becomes Josh Allen, I'll get a tattoo. And I'm a guy that's you can save this podcast if he becomes.
Careful what you wish
on
for,
YouTube. We're on YouTube now as well. Don't forget. So
listen, be careful what you wish for.
I'll get a legit tattoo, and that's it. If he becomes.
Be careful what you wish for. What if Jalen Hurts goes off in the off season, work his butt off to become an accurate passer, and he pushes you to shame? What are you gonna do? Give your QB a chance, man.
I'm gonna have to get a tattoo. That's my way of basically saying.
I mean, I'm not saying he's 100% gonna do it, but I give him at least a 40% chance of, being the guy.
All right, play of the week, the baller play of the week. Gosh, there are a few plays in. Like, I think I know which Will's one's going to be. He's mentioned the player and the play a fair few times. I don't know if that's going to be his play of the week, but
I think it'll be.
I'm going to go first on this. I'm going to mention my play of the week, and I'm going to mention my honourable mentions as well. Play of the week for me is Stafford to Cup for that deep pass. And considering that the magnitude of that play, Tampa Bay coming all the way back to level the game, and then Rams, poof, one big pass. That's enough of the storyline. We're not having any of it. We're having the field goal when getting out of here. Just absolutely perfect. Brilliant. My play of the week. My two honourable mentions are field goal from Bengals kicker, because it's just icing in a veins moment. Rookie kicker, like, the pressure is incredible. And then also Josh Allen's fourth down scramble, the scramble out of bounds. How he managed to, it was the defensive end trying to tackle him, and he just shrugged him off, and then he just ran off to the side.
Yeah,
like how he managed to do that, I have no idea.
Yeah, no,
those are my honourable mentions for play of the week. Peter, what is your play of the week?
To find, I don't know if you can remember me. I think at the beginning of almost watching the games, there was a play that I did put in the group as my play of the week. I can't remember.
It was AJ Brown's catch. His one-handed grab whilst being interfered with.
Yes, sensational.
Because there was another play that you were going to say, and I was like, no, I'm vetoing it.
Come on. Can I at least have that as my honorable mention?
I'm going to find the play.
Oh, I
will find the play.
Because that was that immediately I was like, this is going to be my play of the week. Because it was a good play as well. It was a really good play.
So far back, I will try and find that. But there was another. It was a defensive play, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Just trying to focus in.
Oh yes, the Titans. That INT by the Titans DB against Joe Burrow. The immaculate interception.
No, the immaculate interception was the week before.
No, but this
that was
one
by the Bills. That was by the Bills.
Okay, that was incredible interception. This is the immaculate. Because think about it. You know that play in NFL history that says the immaculate reception,
but from the offensive lineman.
This was the exact same play, but like from a defensive back's perspective. I mean, the way he scooped it, it's like you could easily call it incomplete. You could call it.
Oh no, it was incomplete. No, that was incomplete. That ball hit the ground. Like I don't care what the referee said. That ball hit that floor.
It was an interception. It's going to record because of an interception.
I know because he's looking at the play like this. That's why. Like sometimes
it was an intercept. Well,
it was an interception.
In my highly,
it's gonna go into the books as an interception.
Yeah, in my highly biased opinion, it was not an interception. It never should have stood.
So you don't give the DB the effort to defy physics to grab that ball.
No, because he didn't defy physics. Physics helped him, and that ball touched the ground.
It barely. It didn't touch.
It doesn't matter whether it touches. It doesn't matter. Like the great man Vin Diesel says, like it doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. It doesn't matter whether it goes half an inch or a full inch into the grass. It's still touching the grass.
It grazed the grass. It did not touch it.
Well, it was a good athletic play from the DB.
There was physical contact with the grass, so therefore it is touching. I'm being
Listen,
I'm being the technical, giving you the technical lingo.
look, this physical touch of the grass you're talking about, it was minute. You need a microscope to see that thing.
I
It's
could see it
just
from a few thousand miles away.
you just can't get over Borrow. You just can't believe he would throw an interception. That's what you're thinking.
No, it wasn't that. It was more because I can give the AJ Brown play, like that was absolutely incredible. There was nothing like when you consider like there's nothing controversial about that play at all. Correct.
Hmm.
Whereas the play between for the defensive back, there was controversy.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it didn't result in the victory for the Titans. This is the one weekend that none of the refs made an impact on the game in a significant way to the point that they cost one team the game. Can you believe that? They let the players play.
And that's what they should do. They should just let them play in the playoffs. That's what they should do.
Except for when it's egregious.
I mean, allow defensive backs to play defense, isn't it?
Yeah, but like that's why the Bills really should have tackled the Kansas City Chiefs players because
At least they would have got one with no flags, though, because they would have letting them play.
No, I think the way that I had envisaged it is literally you tackle them at the line of scrimmage, like you pancake them.
Then, do you know what happened? Andy Reid would be like, "We need to change the rules. When it's last minute, you can't pancake the receivers anymore. Otherwise, it's automatic ball on the 1 yard line." That's what they would do because they want offense to win.
I know, but Will, do you have any honourable mentions before we close up?
I'd probably say it was Gabriel Davis's touchdown, where obviously
The long one or the
long one,
the latter ones? All right.
the long one, only because for what it meant to the Bills at that point in the game,
Because that got them back in the game.
that
Effectively.
literally got them back in the game. They'd been struggling to find guys that were open because obviously Stephon Diggs was double teamed the whole game. They had nothing out of him.
He's a
So
free
I think,
agent this year.
yeah, well, he's going to be back there. But it was like,
Yeah,
it
he's
was
going to want
amazing
to
to
be
see
back as well.
It was awesome to see Davis showing up. I think he's a rookie, right? So
Yeah,
this
he's
is
going into his second deal now.
yeah. So that was really good to see, and he can definitely take that away, and he can hold
He's
his head
actually
up.
he's an honourable mention for Baller of the Week, and the reason why I say that, no person ever has scored 4 receiving touchdowns in a playoff game. He's the first.
Yep, it's one for the history books. Bright future ahead for him in Buffalo for sure.
Well, he'll get opportunity next season. Hope he takes advantage of it.
Well,
It's actually
providing that he signs with them.
it's the perfect storm actually because you have a pure number one that can take the attention away from Davis, which will give him time to prosper.
There was a quote on Twitter that I saw, which was, it was great for the it was great like gamesmanship for the Bills to sign Emmanuel Sanders, and then hide Gabriel Davis on really low down on the depth chart until the playoffs.
Yeah, because he's obviously talented. So
We've all seen the talent.
yeah,
We always knew it was there. I knew
Yeah.
it was there from a wide receiver perspective.
yeah, perfect.
Well, there we have it. The divisional round is behind us. 3 games left in the NFL schedule. NFC Championship, AFC Championship this weekend. We will bring you a show later on in the week to discuss what we believe will happen on Sunday. The games are at 8 UK time and 11:30 UK time on Sunday. So it is goodbye from us for now. We will catch you on later on in the week. And goodbye from Peter down below. Well,
Like
to my
Tyrese will
right.
say,
Over and out.
deuces.
Well, no. Tyreek is bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya. You're not getting close to me.
Yeah.
That's deuces.